Greetings from Wisdom Words, a peaceful place to pause and reflect. One story at a time, we examine timeless teachings about life, serenity, and purpose here. So, pause, inhale, and let's get started. The freedom of releasing. We spend a large portion of our lives attempting to influence events, gain acceptance, or satisfy the needs of others. Relationships, reputations, our jobs, and how others see us are all essential to us. However, there comes a time when clinging too tightly simply results in tension, annoyance, and disappointment. That moment is subtle but profound. The moment you let go of things that make you unhappy, you create room for freedom, clarity, and real development. Why everything changes when you let go. When you quit expending too much emotional energy, you give up seeking acceptance and recognition. You cease responding to events that are out of your control. You become more aware of what really counts. Letting go does not imply surrendering to ambition, love, or life. It entails refocusing your energies on things that support your well-being and are consistent with your ideals. Everything starts to change during that release, including your personal perspective, relationships, and prospects. A tale of independence through distancing. Daniel was a man I once met. Daniel was exhausted from trying to please everyone, including friends, family, and co-workers. He was anxious, felt stuck, and was always afraid of disappointing other people. After much introspection, Daniel finally lost interest in things beyond his control. He valued connections that felt reciprocal, set limits at work, and got rid of unneeded commitments. Daniel saw changes almost instantly. He was lighter, sharper, and more in the moment. Opportunities seemed to present themselves organically, people reacted differently to him, and his connections grew more robust and satisfying. Daniel made room for change by releasing his connection to results and viewpoints. Important teachings on detachment and caring. 1. Caring without attachment. Don't cling to control or results. Instead, concentrate on what really matters. 2. Energy is limited. Invest your valuable emotional energy in things that foster your development and tranquility. 3. Boundaries are freedom. It's important to keep things in balance, so saying no isn't selfish. 4. Change is internal. Your perspective changes and life reacts appropriately when you stop being overly concerned. A tale of metamorphosis. Claire was one of the women. Claire, constantly trying to gain acceptance and favor, had been in a poisonous friendship. She became nervous, worn out, and self-conscious after every argument or critique. Claire finally decided to give up attempting to win over someone who didn't respect her. She stopped over-apologizing and over-explaining and instead concentrated on pursuing her passions and self-care. In an instant, the dynamics shifted. She felt more grounded, lighter, and more self-assured. She felt calm and clarity in both situations, as some relationships inevitably became stronger and others waned. Claire became knowledgeable and centered when she was less caring, but still warm. Introspective questions. Take a moment to think. In what aspects of my life do I needlessly expend too much energy? Where can I establish limits to preserve my tranquility without letting go of my obligations? If I let go of my attachment to results, viewpoints, or approval, how would my life change? Reflection enables you to see that prudent care differs from excessive investment in uncontrollable circumstances. The ability to let go and transform. It's not a sign of weakness to quit caring too much. It is an act of self-respect, boldness, and clarity. You can recover your energy, refocus your attention, and let life develop organically by letting go. You start to see chances, connections, and inner calm appear naturally when you let go of things that drain you. A carry-along takeaway. When you stop being overly concerned, everything changes. Let go of attachment to opinions, let go of control over results, and let go of the need to win over everyone. Clarity emerges, vitality returns, and life starts to flow with a surprising ease and genuineness at that place. We'll look at how letting go of emotions may change your relationships, decisions, and even your sense of self in the upcoming chapter. We'll also look at how detachment can lead to unexpected opportunities. How detachment makes things possible. Life starts to react in small but meaningful ways after you stop being overly concerned. There are opportunities that you might have missed previously. Relationships change. You become more focused. Detachment does not imply indifference or a lack of accountability. It entails deciding where to focus your attention and energy and letting go of things that don't benefit you. The cosmos frequently aligns in surprising ways when you stop chasing approval and demanding results. Why change occurs when control is released? Being overly concerned often leaves us stuck. We attempt to exert control over uncontrollable circumstances. To live up to expectations, we compromise. We seek approval that is never really satisfying. Detachment permits clarity. You can see what is important and what is not. Freedom. You behave voluntarily rather than under duress. Flow. When you stop resisting, life happens more organically. Energy that was previously confined to tension and anxiety becomes accessible for development, creativity, and connection the instant you let go of needless concerns. An account of clarity and letting go. Hannah was a woman I once met. Hannah had been overworking herself and pleasing her supervisor since she was obsessed with gaining a promotion at work. Despite her efforts, she felt invisible, worried, and fatigued. She decided to quit worrying too much about what other people thought after months of frustration. Instead, she concentrated on giving it her all without worrying about results or praise. The transformation was striking. She won the respect of her co-workers, her confidence increased, and her performance automatically improved. The promotion arrived, but it wasn't the result of desperate efforts, but rather of presence, skill, and attention. Hannah made room for development and achievement that had previously seemed unattainable by letting go of attachment. Important teachings on transformation and detachment. 1. Concentrate on what you can control. It is a waste of energy to focus on uncontrollable results. 2. Alignment is attracted by letting go. Let go of attachment, and life will often bring what is meant to be. 3. Setting boundaries safeguards your energy and makes way for worthwhile chances. 4. Action without obsession is powerful. When driven by intention rather than worry, work, love, and creativity thrive. A tale of changing relationships. A man named Liam was present. Liam had been contacting and over-explaining in an attempt to mend a fractured connection. He felt exhausted, but the relationship remained tight despite his efforts. He chose to quit being overly concerned one day. He took a moment, made room, and concentrated on his life and interests. The change came instantly. The connection grew organically as his friend started to show genuine interest in him. Liam learned by letting go that genuine connection frequently only manifests when pressure is released. Introspective questions. Take a moment to think. At what point in my life am I imposing results or being overly concerned? How does detachment provide room for growth, understanding, or genuine connection? Which obligations or relationships are worthy of my energy and which needlessly use it up? You can observe the liberation and change that result from caring sensibly rather than excessively when you reflect. The power of detachment to transform. Being detached does not mean being aloof or uncaring. It's a deliberate decision to trust life's natural flow, respect your principles, and conserve your energy. You become more creative, more present, and more in line with what really matters when you stop caring too much. Life starts to react when you stop pushing needlessly, not because you push harder. A carry-along takeaway. Everything changes the instant you stop caring too much. Naturally, relationships, opportunities, and even your sense of self change. The secret to turning difficulty into ease, effort into flow, and worry into clarity is detachment. In the following chapter, we'll look at how letting go of control may strengthen rather than harm relationships and how reducing overcaring transforms them. How relationships are changed by letting go. Overcare can lead to relationship tension. We make too much effort to manage results, anticipate every expectation, or please everyone. Ironically, rather than drawing people together, this frequently drives them away. A shift happens the instant you stop caring too much. Instead of feeling obligated, you start to relate from a position of sincerity. Because there is no pressure, expectation, or emotional exhaustion, connections organically become stronger. Why bonds are strengthened by detachment. Excessive concern frequently leads to both parties' emotional weariness, misunderstandings, and animosity. When one individual provides more than they receive, there is an imbalance. Conversely, detachment permits Genuineness is to be seen. Respect and understanding for one another to thrive. Relationships should develop organically, founded on free will rather than duty. Others can arrive authentically, or not, without fear or neediness when you let go of the need to dominate or overinvest. An account of the transformation of a relationship. Naomi was a woman I once met. When Naomi was in a love relationship, she frequently put her needs last in an effort to satisfy her partner's every desire. She tried, but she felt invisible, exhausted, and nervous. One day, Naomi made the decision to put her limits and self-respect first rather than worrying too much about her partner's response. She gave herself space, was honest about what she needed, and let the relationship develop naturally without constantly exerting too much effort. It had a significant impact. Her partner started to become more engaged, empathetic, and respectful. Because both individuals could now present themselves authentically, the relationship thrived spontaneously rather than requiring ongoing care. Important relationship and overcaring lessons. 1. Boundaries are loving, relationships are strengthened rather than harmed when you maintain your emotional distance. 2. Authenticity attracts. Reciprocity, honesty, not desperation or excessive effort, is what people react to. 3. Release equals connection. Deeper connections frequently arise when control is relinquished. 4. Mutual energy is important. When two people invest voluntarily, rather than out of duty or guilt, relationships flourish. A tale of companionship. A man by the name of Simon was there. Simon over-messaged, over-apologized, and anticipated all of his friends' needs in an attempt to salvage a waning friendship. He was bitter and felt undervalued despite his efforts. After a while, Simon stopped caring too much. He let his friend go, concentrated on his own life, and let the friendship develop organically. The friendship eventually found equilibrium again. The friendship grew stronger when the buddy began to take the initiative and seek more, based on shared interests rather than Simon's excessive effort. Introspective questions. Take a moment to think. Where am I generating imbalance or weariness in my relationships by being overly caring? How can I communicate my desires without going too far? Which relationships flourish when I step back and create space for genuineness? Reflection reveals that balancing energy and letting go of overcaring strengthens love, friendship, and connection. The relationship-changing potential of letting go. Fear of failure, rejection, or loss is frequently the root cause of overcaring. But connection can develop organically when fear-based effort is let go. Relationships develop on their own when you stop attempting to control results. People don't show up because you force them to or over-invested, they do so because they want to. Authenticity, mutual regard, and understanding serve as the cornerstones. A carry-along takeaway. Your connections alter as soon as you stop being overly concerned. Authenticity, boundaries, and room for reciprocal investment improve rather than erode relationships. Letting go is connecting without sacrificing your energy or tranquility, not distancing yourself from love. In the following chapter, we'll look at how letting go of expectations and overcaring can change your perspective and lead to personal development, as well as how releasing yourself from emotional connection can lead to a more fulfilling and tranquil life. Giving up expectations. Our attachment to results, people, or circumstances frequently causes excessive concern. We anticipate that life will act in a particular way, that other people will act in a particular way, and that we will reach specific goals within a predetermined time frame. Despite being normal, these expectations lead to conflict, annoyance, and disappointment. You cease over-expecting the instant you stop over-caring. This change creates room for tranquility, understanding, and development. Why everything changes when expectations are released. Rigid expectations and over-caring are closely related. You attempt to influence life's events. You hold others to expectations that they might not fulfill. When your vision and reality diverge, you are disappointed. Giving up expectations releases you from ongoing stress and anxiety, allows you to consider fresh options, enables you to enjoy life as it naturally develops. Opportunities that you could not have anticipated frequently arise when you let go of your commitment to particular results. Internal acceptance, not external control, is the source of freedom. An account of breaking free from expectations. Ethan was a man I once met. For years, Ethan had envisioned a specific career path, but it appeared to be obstructed at every turn. He became nervous and burned out as a result of his obsession with networking, promotion, and fulfilling particular standards. After a while, Ethan decided to quit worrying too much about deadlines and approval from others. Instead of controlling the result, he concentrated on honing his abilities, learning, and enjoying the process. A few months later, an unforeseen opportunity aligned perfectly with his ideals and enthusiasm. He had never imagined it, but he was prepared to accept it wholeheartedly since he had let go of strict expectations. Ethan learned that when we stop trying to force things, life frequently provides us much more than we could have ever imagined. Important takeaways regarding freedom and expectations. 1. Expect less, observe more. When you see life without strict filters, it becomes richer. 2. Manage your energy, not outcomes. Pay attention to what you do rather than uncontrollable outcomes. 3. To truly enjoy the present, let go of your attachment to what might happen in the future. 4. Openness brings opportunity. Unexpected opportunities frequently arise when you stop being overly concerned. An account of personal development. Clara was one of the women. Clara was always concerned about what her friends, family, and workplace thought of her. She was always worried about failing and attempted to live up to expectations everywhere. Clara made a conscious decision to quit worrying too much about what other people thought of her. She concentrated on her development, her interests, and the things that made her happy. Her relationships improved and her stress level dropped almost instantly. She drew opportunities that matched her true nature and individuals who truly appreciated her. Clara found freedom and personal development by letting go of expectations, which she never thought was possible. Introspective questions. Take a moment to think. What unwarranted stress-inducing expectations am I holding on to? Where can I let go and let life happen as it naturally does? How can I make room for unforeseen chances by concentrating on my own development and values? Reflection enables you to see that attachment to what ought to occur is frequently the root cause of overcaring. When you align with your path and concentrate on the present, you can achieve freedom. The ability to release expectations transforms your life. The moment you release your attachment to results, your life begins to transform. Because you are no longer attempting to make things suit your ideal, overcaring decreases. You take deliberate action, but not under duress. Your viewpoint is clear, your vitality is maintained, and life moves more naturally and authentically. A carry-along takeaway. When you stop worrying too much about what ought to happen, everything changes. Letting go of expectations relieves anxiety, creates space for new possibilities, and allows life to surprise you in significant ways. Letting go frequently leads to freedom, clarity, and growth. In the last chapter, we'll look at how letting go of expectations and ceasing to be overly concerned can ultimately lead to inner peace and contentment. We'll also look at why the most significant changes frequently occur inside, long before they manifest externally. Transformation and inner peace. Overcaring impacts your life, relationships, and expectations, as we have already discussed. We've seen how letting go may change connections, opportunities, and personal development. The last piece of the puzzle is realizing how letting go of excessive caring eventually results in inner peace, the kind that is independent of approval, authority, or results from other sources. This tranquility is not passive. It is active, deliberate, and developed via decisions that put your authenticity and well-being first. Why inner calm transforms everything. Overcaring frequently results in emotional weariness, tension, and anxiety. Excessively considering each choice, exchange, or result. The feeling that one is never good enough or that one is never good enough. When you cease caring too much, your emotional vitality is restored. You feel more at ease, lighter, and in the moment. Instead of reacting to life, you respond to it. This mental change changes the way you experience every part of life, not just your mood. An account of discovering peace. Maria was a woman I once met. Maria had spent years trying to live up to everyone's expectations, worrying about what other people thought, and controlling circumstances that she had no control over. She was worn out, frustrated, and nervous all the time. Maria decided to quit being so concerned one day. She started establishing limits, concentrating on the things under her control and letting go of those beyond her power. The transformation was striking. She found a quiet clarity she had never known before, her relationships improved, and she enjoyed her work more. Maria found a calm that no outside approval could offer by letting go of attachment and over-effort. Important teachings on transformation and peace. 1. Peace originates within. It cannot be produced by external factors or situations. 2. Energy is precious. Take care of it sensibly, but not too much. 3. Letting go leads to freedom. Your mind and heart become free when you let go of attachment and overcaring. 4. Being totally present rather than being preoccupied with worries makes life feel richer and more meaningful. A tale of metamorphosis. A man named Alex was present. Alex was constantly trying to keep track of everything, including his family, friends, and job. He believed that if he maintained sufficient control and concern, life would appear secure. Alex decided to cease overcaring after years of fatigue. He let go of the rest and concentrated on what was most important to him. As time went on, Alex saw a striking change. He was more confident, happier, and more at ease. Relationships and opportunities came without coercion, pursuit, or concern. Alex learned that life genuinely transforms the instant you let go of the weight of overcaring by putting your peace first. Introspective questions. Take a moment to think. Where in my life am I causing needless stress and being overly concerned? How can I maintain my compassion and presence while safeguarding my emotional energy? How can I develop inner peace on a daily basis, and what does it mean to me? You become aware of the value of your energy, concentration, and tranquility through reflection. When you choose where to care and where to let go, your life transforms internally. The ability to change by letting go of overcaring. To stop being overly concerned is to acquire freedom, not to give up. It's about putting yourself, your tranquility, and your clarity ahead of needless stress and anxiety. Life becomes easier when you let go of expectations, control, and excessive effort. Rather than responding hastily, you reply with consideration. You create connections, chances, and experiences that are inherently meaningful to you. A carry-along takeaway. When you stop being overly concerned, everything changes. Your inner world changes, your relationships get deeper, and your possibilities align. The resulting independence and tranquility are permanent. They serve as the cornerstone of a purposeful, genuine, and joyful existence. We appreciate your participation in Wisdom Words. If this video spoke to you, please share it with someone who would benefit from a reminder that letting go of needless anxiety and overconcern frequently leads to transformation, clarity, and serenity. Keep in mind that when you pick your energy, your peace, and yourself, your life changes. Take a deep breath, think, and relax, then see how everything transforms.